Hello, nerds. Welcome to part 2 of Thanos Wins. We changed things around a little bit. I'm in my office now because the ArNERDillos are having a virtual happy hour. So they're taking over the main space. So where we left off from part 1, issue 13, was young Thanos was introduced to old Thanos and the Black Right Hand of the final king. The Black Right Hand is, of course, Cosmic Ghost Rider. So issue 14 in the title Thanos. Okay, just checking to make sure there's no glare. In the eyes of infinity, a beginning and an ending are almost entirely indiscernible. The explosion that ends one universe gives birth to another. The dinosaurs went extinct the very same second the asteroid that ended them spun out of its orbit. A man who dies from a gunshot wound was dead the moment the bullet was created. And these events, though hours or even millions of years apart, happen in the span of a hummingbird's heartbeat in the eyes of the infinite. Tied together on a course plotted by destiny, or perhaps doom, it is in this way of thinking that the universe as you know it ended the day Thanos was born. That's such a cool splash page. So this is a little bit of a background story on Thanos' life before he turned into what he is. The end of all things occurred on a Wednesday, some forgotten centuries ago, on a small moon of Saturn called Titan. Thanos was born to a race of Eternals, but for some untold reason, he arrived different. They called him a mutant, a deviant. They say his mother, Sui San, was her name, went insane the moment she laid her eyes on him. But this is not entirely true. She lost her mind when she first spoke his name. Thanos. Thanos was not the name she had planned on giving the child. Yet when she looked into his pitch-black eyes, she spoke it at once. She had never heard the name before, and if you were to ask where it came from, she would tell you that a cold wind whispered it into her ear. She would also tell you that going mad is a perfectly reasonable reaction to staring into the eyes of a universal constant. You would go mad too if you gave birth to a god. Anyway, Thanos killed her when he was 12. Oh boy. That's... Oh my god. From there, things rather escalated. As he grew, Thanos began to alter and experiment on his deviant biology, increasing his strength, his intellect, and his cruelty. And then, when I am sure there is very little need to remind you of Thanos' various quests for universal domination, the Infinity Crusades, the Annihilation Wars, the prophecies and the conquests, alliances, betrayals, defeats, and death. Always, always there was death. Okay, so let's go through this very quickly. So this is Adam Warlock, and this is Thanos, and they're fighting, and this is all part of the Infinity Gauntlet saga. This is obviously drawn by Jeff, but this is a redrawing of the Infinity Gauntlet saga, and this is Adam Warlock and Thanos fighting during the Infinity Gauntlet. This is out of a book called Annihilation. This is Thanos and Mephisto. This is the first version of Thanos versus Galactus. This is Thane, which is Thanos' son. He was on a quest to find Thane because there was a prophecy that Thane would overtake Thanos. But in the comic books, Thanos is in love with the embodiment of death. So she is she's the reason, if you guys haven't read the Infinity Gauntlet story arc, she's actually the reason why he decided to wipe out half of the living beings in the universe to impress death. So she's kind of always around. Yeah. Feels like there's something else I wanted to say, but yeah. Thanos always he always, in the comic books, he's always pitched at the beginning of every story as a villain. But at the end of it, for reasons that he kind of has no control over, he ends up helping the good guys a lot, like against a larger evil. Not because he wants to, but because of self-preservation most of the time. And now we're thrown back into the story. The future. But death never came for Thanos. So as the Earth's heroes and champions wilted, old and weak around him, Thanos only grew stronger. He became, finally, what he was always meant to be. You see, for eons, Thanos has been called mad, labeled an aberration, a mutant, a deviant, evil. But perhaps the truth is that Thanos is no more aberrant than the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. He is no more evil than a cancer cell. And he is no madder than his mother before him. So let's go through this very quickly. This is Thanos dragging Namor the Submariner through the ocean floor with a bunch of sharks watching on. This is Thanos beating the shit out of all the old X-Men at Xavier's School for the Gifted. This is Thanos backhanding Captain America. This is Thanos cosmic blasting old Thor. This is Thanos looking at the Guardians of the Galaxy floating in space. There's Gamora. There's Drax. There's Rocket Raccoon. There's Peter Quill. What is this one? This is... I can't really tell. It might be... I don't know. This might... I don't know. Not quite sure about that. And this is old Thanos beating the hell out of old Hulk. Ooh, okay. So this is a cool splash page. This is one of my favorite splash pages. The Phoenix burns. Galactus devours. The Watchers witness. The Celestials judge. Thanos lives. Thanos denies. So these are the comic book Celestials. They're absolutely monstrous, and they are all. That's what Galactus is. He in the comic books, Galactus is one of the last remaining Celestials in the universe. They're absolutely huge, and here we have everybody dead. This is Galactus's head detached from his body there. And here on top of the hill we have Thanos with Black Bolt, who has a very, very powerful voice. They say that a whisper can knock down a forest, so you can imagine what a scream does. So he's got Black Bolt on a chain, chained up, standing in front of all these Celestials. And then he stabs Black Bolt, making him scream absolute, utter destruction and chaos. Thanos wins. So that's how he took out all the Celestials. And so, on the ruins of the world before, Thanos birthed a new one in its stead. From an ending, a new beginning. From the bones of the Celestials, he built a temple to live out the remainder of his infinite life in silence. Save for the odd spirit of vengeance, of course. How that bizarre alliance came to be is a story for another time. But that is how it has been for millions of years now. The mighty Thanos on his great devourer throne. Lord of Ash, King of Nothing. Victorious, uncontested, and alone. So, this is, as we talked about in part 1, this is Thanos' throne. He built his throne on the skull of Galactus. Who they say Galactus is the devourer of worlds, because all Galactus does, he's neither good nor evil. All he does is float about the universe looking for planets to eat. He's just trying to survive. He's not doing it with any malice intent. He just needs food to survive. And then suddenly, so young Thanos tries to knock out last King Thanos. There was Thanos. I do not care who you think you are, pretender, but know this. Thanos will be put in chains, dragged to his knees, and disrespected by no one. I did not bring you here to fight me, boy. Then you should not have brought me here. And I will not be called boy. Whoa, big fella. You. Alright, look, friend. All cards on the table here. You can't kill me. I'm about as dead as it gets. So let's just calm down and be rational, because all of this time travel shit is already confusing as hell, isn't it? Interesting. I would like very much to test this theory of yours about death. Though our younger Thanos here has not yet witnessed a fraction of the horrors and glory that his older self has, he is still Thanos. No! Please! Please? And as such, he has already committed such mad and horrific acts that you wouldn't think there was a single sight left in existence that would shock him. You would be wrong. Please. I need your help. Sorry. There's Thanos. He drops Cosmic Ghost Rider. There's his castle of celestial bones. Just punches old Thanos right through it. Magnificent. So he's excited. He's excited that young Thanos came to fight. You're gonna need it. Who are you? You wear that face and that title, and yet the word please comes from your mouth. You beg? You are no king. He starts beating the shit out of him. You are no Thanos. Old Thanos just blasts the hell out of young Thanos. If there were any doubt left in our young Thanos that the man in front of him was truly himself, separated by millions of years, it was erased with the heat of the power cosmic burning the air in his lungs. You talk too much. And the sound of his true name, the one his mother had chosen for him before her mind had been shattered. Dion. A name she had only spoken to him on the day that she died. On the day that he killed her, I want to remind you, when he was 12. And it was within that moment, that very, very minuscule instant in time, where Thanos chose to align himself, that eternity, as you know it, was doomed. What do you need my help with? I lost someone. I need you to help me get them back. Who? Who do you think? So remember, Thanos is obsessed with death. So he built this monstrous statue to try and get her back, but he's the last person in the universe. Or Thanos is the last thing in the universe. So, well, not quite. We're gonna meet the person, his sort of the thorn in Thanos' paw, in the upcoming issues. But yeah, that's what he needs help with, because he ran out of things to kill to impress death. So that was issue 2. It's getting pretty intense. So now they're aligned and ready for issue 3. Hope you guys enjoyed it.